All right, so right now we are at one of my favorite places on earth. We're in the town of Gettysburg, specifically the Gettysburg Museum of History. And one of the things that we've started doing on this channel that has been honestly a lot of fun is unboxings. So we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing today and see some of the recent items that have showed up right here at the museum.
All right, so we're at the Gettysburg Museum of History Annex. We're in my temporary office right now, and it's been a little while since we've done an unboxing, and we get requests all the time to do these. It seems to fascinate people. So I knew JD was coming in today, and I had a couple cool packages come in, so we're gonna unbox a couple here. I'll get my Fallschirmjäger knife, and we'll start with this one. I believe I know what's in here. I believe this is just one item, so this should be easy. Oh, it's got a little bit of paperwork there, not important. Yeah, here we go. Here's a big flag. Let me move this knife out of the way, and this actually. Huge pillow. I guess it's good to recycle packing material.
I don't think we recommend using this as a pillow, though.
No. So, oh, okay. So this looks to be like a World War II German flag, and it is big, and it looks like it's made out of wool. So it's got some holes from moth damage, which most wool flags do. A little bit of staining. This is a big one. This is a real big one. Oh, and it's got some loops for hanging here, and oh, it's got a maker here too. So it is maker marked, which is something that you don't see a whole lot on flags. Sometimes you do, but this is what we would call a garrison flag. I was thinking it was Italian made at first, because a lot of the ones that were made in Italy for the Germans were made out of wool, but this is not. It's got a German maker on here. But anyway, big flag. This will be on our website. You know, we get items like this in from time to time, and we sell them on the website to raise money for the museum to help keep it free. So if you have any flags for sale, let us know. GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com, info@GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com for the email. So here's another one. This is, I know who this came from. So this is gonna be some cool stuff, if I remember correctly. You know, we get so much stuff in here every day that sometimes I forget what things are, and I covered up the return label so we don't, you know, for privacy reasons. And this guy always seems to pack things really well. Oh, and it's got my name on it again, so we'll cover that up so we don't see that. I'm sure he doesn't. Oh, and they got a card on it too, so we'll take that off, and we'll take this and move it, so for privacy reasons. And some cool stuff in here. Wow, there's one of the AH supporter flags. So we got some armbands. This is like a thing that they sold at some of the early rallies. This is really early. This is late 20s, early 30s. I've seen them in different forms, sometimes in mini flags like that, sometimes in almost like a bandana form. This is another flag, just a plain small size flag, or medium size flag, we'd say. This is a political leader armband. It's in pretty good shape. Let's see if it has a tag or anything. Yep, it has the RZM tag still attached, which is nice to see. So this is a higher grade armband. It would be for a political leader. And this is a great piece. This is an SS armband, and we can tell it's the difference because it has a black stripe at the top and the bottom. So that would be worn by SS members. And it also has an RZM tag, but that's the SS version of the RZM tag, which is nice to see that too. Meaning a lot of times the paper tags are gone, you know, from wearing them and using them. This is a pretty interesting flag, if I remember correctly. And I saw pictures of this before it was sent. Yeah, this is a kind of a fancy type podium flag. So this would be like for a window dressing or maybe a podium, but it's some people call these political leader flags, but they're just decorative, another party flag. And the other interesting thing in here, there's an SS dagger. It's a really nice condition one. And it has the hanger with it, the larger type of hanger. Sometimes they just would have a hook with a belt loop. This is the more elaborate version, but let's open it up and check it out. So yeah, it's in excellent condition. And it's got the maker here. Doesn't appear to be ground off, so it's not like a ground ROM or anything like that. But I remember looking at pictures of this and feeling it now, I can tell that, you know, this is one that's not been messed with. It hasn't had any parts swapped out or anything like that. There's no wear on the nut, so it hasn't been turned. So yeah, it's just a really good condition dagger. A little bit of a dent there, but not much at all. So kids didn't play with it when the vet brought it home as much as some of them. Some of these that you see are just, you know, been dropped and everything else. So a couple of pretty interesting items. They'll be available on the website. And, you know, if you have anything for sale, send us an email, info@GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com.
All right, so we just cracked open this box here, and it has a whole bunch of smalls in it. So one of the things that was in this box was this Hitler Youth belt. Okay, anytime you see a swastika inside of a diamond, okay, that is indicative of something from the Hitler Youth, which are kind of like the Nazi Boy Scouts, only more problematic. And one of the things that soldiers would do when they were over in Europe and getting souvenirs, if they couldn't bring home a whole flag, well, sometimes they would cut out the middle, which is called the roundel. So this is another souvenir item. And then also, we just have a wide variety of armbands. So you see these on the website quite a bit. Here's a tank assault badge, and then also kind of a rare armband right here. But anyway, one of the things that I hear often are people talking about how, you know, their grandpa who was in the 2nd Armored Division or who was in the 1st Infantry Division or whatever had brought home some stuff and maybe something happened. Maybe it was stolen, or maybe one I heard recently was that there was a house fire. So people can go to the website and they can get items like this to kind of replace things that may have been lost. And as always, you know, as we say, that these are, you know, of course, symbols of the Third Reich, but the fact that they are here makes them symbols of American victory.
On that last box, I want to say one of my favorite pickers sent me a nice chocolate bar. So sometimes guys do that. It's a nice little bit of extra love that they send. So thank you for that. So this next one is kind of out of character of what we normally do. I know this is coming in, and so I know what it is, but it's something we've never done before. And this is part of the rock and roll collection. Now, we don't really have any rock and roll stuff on display at the museum. For a while, we had an Elvis exhibit, so sometimes we'll rotate some things in and out. And in the new museum, we're going to have like a rotating exhibit where we change it out every 6 months or so. And we were going to do something on it, like the history of American rock and roll. And of course, one of the greatest rock and roll bands, in my opinion, at least from my generation, is this. And I pre-opened it because it was packed pretty well here. And it was sent registered mail, which made it take forever to get here. But it's really safe, because each post office has to sign for it along the way. But this is really interesting and really unusual. Let me get the edge here. The awkward cut on camera here. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't have a bunch of... Okay, well, it's got a certificate of authenticity, which I don't really pay attention to. Some people like them. I mean, we provide them with our items when we ship them. And basically, for us, the certificate is just our guarantee that it's authentic and our money-back guarantee, where this is somebody sent this to an authenticator to have it verified. This isn't a money-back guarantee like ours. Ours actually have some weight behind them, but this is a letter from one of the companies that do that. Let me get this phone number and message out of there for privacy reasons. Let me pull this out. Now, a while back, one of the managers of this band sold a bunch of paperwork and other items, and whoever first bought it, not the person I got it from, thought it was a good idea to cut the signatures out. Now, that was an old thing that they used to do with autographs. I've seen Lincoln autographs where just the signature was out. This is Van Halen, signed by all four and their manager, but I have the rest of the document. Luckily, they saved the rest of the document. And basically, this is and when I display it, I'll put it back together, meaning I'll get my framer to arrange this in a way where it looks okay, like doesn't look so bad now. But what this is Van Halen was firing their manager. And the history of Van Halen, California band, is that they had a manager who was the nephew of the famous actor Milton Berle. His name was Marshall Berle. And this is when they decided to get rid of him. And it's unusual to have Van Halen contracts with all four. I mean, I guess they're somewhere, but at this point, they really couldn't even be in the same room together. But you have all the names on there. There's Marshall Berle, Alex Van Halen, Edward Van Halen, Michael Anthony, and David Lee Roth. A little smear there. But one of the interesting things about this, not many people will know this, but they put underneath Marshall Berle's name, AKA Sneed Krellman. Now, in the comments, does anybody know what the word Krell is to Van Halen? And I'll tell you at the end. So we get some comments going here. But this is a multi-page contract, basically dismissing Marshall Berle of his duties. It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. And we're happy to get it. It's, like I said, it's really difficult to find something, especially in the contract form, to have all four signatures. So hopefully somebody answered the question. The word that, or the slang word that Van Halen used for the drug cocaine was Krell. And so I think they were kind of dismissing Marshall Berle on probably not really good terms, but at that time they were calling him Sneed Krellman, because I guess that's the view they had of him. He was a cokehead, basically, at that time. And I hope I don't get sued, because I think Marshall's still alive. But anyway, that was their opinion. They wrote it, I didn't. Anyway, interesting piece of rock and roll history here, and we're happy to get it, and finally showed up after 2 weeks of being in the post office's hands. So, interesting piece.